You're listening to a new episode of the Brave Technologist, and this one features Jared, the CEO and co-founder of GolfN, a platform redefining how golfers engage with the game through rewards, technology, and community. With a background in executive leadership across both traditional industries and Web3, Jared brings a unique level and blend of operational expertise and startup vision. Before launching GolfN, he led sales and M&A initiatives in the insurance sector and has helped scale GolfN through early product success, strategic partnerships, and a growing global user base. A lifelong golfer, Jared's driven by the belief that the game should be more accessible, connected, and rewarding for everyone who plays it. In this episode, we discussed how they're designing GolfN to appeal to traditional golfers who aren't crypto savvy, their early success in acquiring users, including 200,000 in paid memberships during the first launch month, growing Web3 community with Web2 audiences, and how they balance social, convenience, and privacy when designing for users. And now for this week's episode of The Brave Technologist. Jared, welcome to The Brave Technologist. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Luke. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, as a golf junkie, I really appreciate you making the time and have found out a way that we can weave technology and golf into a podcast topic. So thank you for making the time. On that note, you're kind of bringing together golf, crypto, and even AI. What kind of with GolfN, like what kind of triggered the idea of GolfN? What's it all about? And how do you see kind of these emerging technologies transforming the sport and the culture?
Yeah, I think that that's first off a great question and a multifaceted answer. So I'll do the best I can to kind of run through. So like how GolfN started. I mean, you kind of alluded to it. I know you are this as well. Like I'm a golf junkie. I'm a tech junkie. Okay. Like if there's a new thing that might make me a better golfer, I'm in. If there's a new tech or a new chain, I'm going to go try it, right? Like all these things that are just part of my personal ethos. And to that end, 10 years ago, when golf apps really became prevalent, I don't know if you ever used like Arcos or 18 Birdies or something like that. Like I was there. I was a power user. I was like, this is great. You know, maybe this is it. And then I'll be the next guy on tour, right? Like everybody thinks you're just that one swing thought or swing change away. From making it big. So I used all these technologies and they were great. Like when they first came out, they were really, really interesting. I got a lot better in my game. I have no problem admitting that. Like Arcos, I dropped my index like 5 shots, which was crazy. Just using their tech. 10 years ago, that was really innovative, Luke. Now there's probably 20 apps out there that do something like that. And it's all essentially commoditized. They all charge somewhere between $50 and $200 a year to use these things, which in my view are table stakes. And so how GolfN started was looking at this segment, which I've been a consumer of. And by the way, 40, 50 million people around the world use golf apps. And I've been one of them for a long time. It's a ton. We see this group of people where it was like originally innovative. And then now everyone just kind of does the same thing. And, we thought, me and my co-founders thought, like, what's a way we could really be innovative? What's a way that we could kind of shake this up? And then we started merging ideas and concepts that we had experienced in crypto around this idea of a golf app. And so I've said this other places, and I've even talked to the founders of these other protocols about this, but we functionally took the idea of Stepin, the idea of Parallel, and merged them together around a digital caddy app. And when we can make this a better, more rewarding experience for users, and we started out on that path about 2 years ago.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think like that's one of those things where with AI, especially too, like, I mean, golf is such a data intensive game. Like even, you go back to people like marking a notepad and putting it in their back pocket, like of every shot they're doing, like whether it's your own score or even guys get really into like the topography on the courses they're playing and stuff like that. And it seems like there hasn't been a ton of like AI innovation on the golf side. Like, are you guys looking at that with GolfN? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and this is kind of happy timing for us. If you think about when I said we started this about 2 years ago, that's really when AI started taking off, right? When all of a sudden it became a little bit more Accessible is how I'll choose to say it, where like you could ChatGPT coming out, like other things, and you could just go, hey, what could we do here? Where you don't need to be a coder to try to use it. And so over the course of 2 years of building GolfN, we've been able to leverage it a lot just from like an overall operational perspective. But AI inside of golf itself, like I can't even tell you how easy it is to identify trends in your game and gaps in your game and things that happen, which would be like almost impossible to know unless you really were a student of the game before. You mentioned people writing down their shots. Matt Fitzpatrick is maybe who you had in mind. He writes down every shot he takes, even on the practice range.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's writing it down, and he literally has books and books and books. So like if you're doing that manually, you ultimately will come to conclusions. But now imagine if you can start leveraging AI. So there's a couple things that we're doing. Shot tracking inside of GolfN, which isn't out yet, but we're developing it, is going to essentially lean entirely upon AI to go, where were you? How long were you there? What were your actions? Drop a pin at that moment, take a snapshot of the weather, the temperature, the wind. Okay. All these sorts of things, which would have been so difficult to build before. Not anymore. Right. Like we can do that very simply, which is great. And I don't need to hire 20 engineers to do it. Right. Like that's the beauty of that piece of it. The other thing, Luke, which I'm super proud of, and maybe this is me as a golf nerd, at the end of this year, we'll be rolling out like an AI an AI like rules official, where if you have a question about a rule while you're on a golf course, a lot of times it's like, how does this work? Well, we're just going to load in the rule book and help the LLM help you understand in ways you can understand. How do you interpret the rules? Take a picture of stakes, of hazards, of whatever. What do I do here? And just make the game more accessible and easier and leverage that sort of stuff that's out there, because it just makes too much sense not to.
Well, it's awesome too, because I think like golf and there's other sports like this too, where, you know, when you're first getting in, the intimidation factor is pretty high, right? Like when just trying to kind of get the shots right is enough work in itself, but then there are a ton of rules, right? And kind of having, and people have different comfort levels with asking questions, right? Like, so having some, like an AI assistant that helps with the rules itself is probably like a great way to onboard people into the game.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of on that topic too, like of onboarding. I mean, I can tell you from my side of the world, like onboarding people into the crypto space is really not the easiest process. There's a lot of kind of friction and intimidating kind of steps and complexity and all of that. How are you guys kind of like, I mean, you're kind of, I would imagine your addressable audience are both crypto users and golfers. Like, how are you guys approaching that at GolfN? Like, are you guys like, how are you trying to kind of like make it easier for people to get involved with this technology?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and I'll answer it simply. You don't need to know anything about crypto to use our app. You don't need to have a seed phrase. You don't need to have a wallet. Everything is abstracted away to have a more Web 2 like experience. So sign up with email, single sign on with Google, whatever it is. And you're earning in our ecosystem this golf to earn thing, which by the way, I should have gone into this more. Like, it's a free app. That whole $50 to $200 when you go to play for these other apps, we charge you $0 a year. We give you all of those features for free. Awesome. And then the more you play, the more you earn. Like, that's what GolfN is, functionally kind of like a step in for golf, right? And there are ways that you can spend money inside of the app, but they're optional. We don't feature gate anything. And while you're doing that, we abstracted the crypto aspect away. So you have points that are associated to an email that can be used inside of our marketplace, inside of our redemption portal, and yes, eventually convertible to a token. But we'll hold your hand and walk you through that. And that's for people who want to go down that path. Because when we started building this, I said to my co-founders, like, if the first experience you have in downloading GolfN is write down this seed phrase, I'm not doing it. We're going to shut this down right now.
Yeah. Cause it's tough, right? Like, cause you know, the space seems like it's evolved in a lot of ways, but still that onboarding piece is it's gotten better, but no, it's really cool. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on too. And one of the reasons why I'm excited about GolfN and stepping apps like this, where, you're meeting people where they are, right? Like,
Yes.
and the technology is there, but it's not all about the technology. It's about playing golf. Like, and, if you're talking about onboarding more and more people into this space, like you got to meet them where they are with this stuff and
That's
kind of
exactly
show
right.
it in different ways, and so that's cool. Like, how is it like, how is it kind of like, there's turbulence in the crypto space, right? Like, it does having like an app that is around a sport like golf helpful when as a startup, or are there challenges that come with having a crypto associated with it, or how is that balancing all that?
Yeah, there were challenges early on, but I would challenge you right now. You can go download the app on the App Store.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can find the word crypto in there anywhere.
Got it.
Right? Like you won't see it, because in my view, and I've said this a lot recently, and maybe in some places that I shouldn't have, like, if the number one things that makes you different is the fact that you're on crypto, your company's going to fail, and let me know when you try your next thing, because it's not going to work out. Like,
right.
if the only thing that makes you different is that piece of technology you're using, you've already lost.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's not the feature of GolfN. It's a part of it. It's a
mm-hmm.
part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually better. If you think about what we're doing at GolfN, functionally, it's like credit card reward miles for golf. Okay.
Right.
Credit card reward miles for golf. It's the easiest way to understand it. What are these points? How do they work? Well, you earn points for activity inside of the app. What am I doing? I want your engagement. I want your reviews on the courses. I want you doing things. I want you socializing, talking with friends, so on and so forth. But every other app in the world currently does the same thing, and they take your information and they take what you do and they try to monetize it, and they charge you money for doing it. What I'm saying is, let's be more honest and upfront about it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to pay me to do it. You can get in here and engage. And yes, that does have monetary value inside the world of golf, but how about we share in it? If you choose not to share or engage, that's your choice. That's fine. That's up to you, which is what I like about it. That's our Web3 background, saying, no, it should be your call if you want to do this. But then you don't share in the rewards if you don't, right? So if you think about how we've set this up, free to play, and then back to the credit card reward miles like concept, we have memberships inside of our app. Well, the memberships, again, are optional. Just like I have a Chase Sapphire Reserve card. It costs $900 a year to have that credit card. Why? Because the points are great. There's also a Chase Sapphire card that costs $0 a year. And I used that one forever until I started to learn the points game. And then I was like, oh, this is actually pretty nice. I can get some pretty great perks based on what I do. I'm going to upgrade. And Luke, I haven't given out this number anywhere before, so this is kind of a breaking news. We've been out for a month. We have $200,000 in memberships in sales.
Nice. That's awesome.
In 4 weeks.
Yeah, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Huge.
Yeah, that's massive. Well, no, and that's one of those things where I think, when I got into crypto in 2015, 2016, and it was kind of during the token boom with ICOs and everything, and people were kind of looking at like, how can you take these more extractive models of like pay to play and all of that, and feature gating things. And I mean, if you look at golf apps, and it's not just specific to golf, that's everywhere, like the free leg is just like brutally clunky and really hard to get through. And it sounds like you guys are kind of like carrying through kind of some of that promise from the older, that ICO era of like, look, we can actually make models that involve the user, share with the user. What does that kind of user first mentality mean to you guys? Like, and when you're thinking, when you're building an app like GolfN?
It means everything. And here's the thing, even though, we have a decent sized team now and I'm CEO and founder, I'm the PM of the app, me personally.
Okay.
Because no one understands the tech. No one understands the game of golf quite like I do. Okay. And so when I'm building this, I'm building it for people that are like me, that have seen all of this stuff, who understand golf intimately, who understand tech intimately. And you want to find that middle and allow you to get rewarded for your obsession. I have this like long held belief that like crypto guy, poker guy, and golf guy are all kind of the same, or gal, by the way, don't mean to be sexist. So like most people are all the same kind of person. You have your different obsessions, your different like niche obsession, but like you can't stop thinking about it. And if you're like me, you're obsessed with all three, but it's like very similar things. And so in my view, 10 years ago when the tech came out, feature gating this new tech made sense. Now it's a commodity. Why would I do that? How about I provide a better experience? And then this will make more sense for like your audience more than anyone else. These other apps, like 18 Birdies has what they say is 4 million users. Arcos has more. Okay. And they again charge $80 to $200 a year for their service if you want their premium services. And they will never, ever, ever let you export your data. You essentially in their user agreement say, we are giving you all of our information to do with what you will, and you can't even take it out of our ecosystem. And what we're building inside of GolfN, this is kind of going back to like, how are you doing this? I don't care. Go export your data, pull your shot information out of here and go somewhere else. If I have to hold you hostage with your information for you to stay with me, then I'm messed up as a company founder. You should be here because you enjoy it. You should be here because the upside is worth it. You could be here because it's most entertaining, but I'm not going to wrap a rope around your neck and say, no. All that time you've put in, it stays with me if you want to leave. Haha, I got you. And that's what currently happens in this space.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, and people don't realize that either until they get to the point of like needing to actually export the data. And they're like, wait a minute, like, how do I do this? You know, and then they're like, I can't do this, you know, and with something like golf too, especially like now, like I was running into this too, because I was trying to export my data to like, you just plug it into some AI stuff that I was doing. And it was just really hard. I ended up having to hack together some really funky thing to do it. But, but yeah, and I think too, like the other thing that seems really interesting about this model you've got is that like, if you can find different elements to earn on the crypto side or to fund things, right? Like it seems like it fits really well with how, you know, AI is so new on the user application side and the consumer side where like we still don't necessarily like compute costs and things like this are going to be going down up before they go down. And then, you know, figuring out like, okay, how do we do this locally versus in the cloud and yada, yada, yada. Like, but it does seem like a really good way to kind of help offset some of those potential costs or learnings up front while you're keeping the user on like, and, you know, like just getting people involved. How are you finding it? I mean, God, the numbers are great. I mean, like 200K 4 weeks is awesome. Like, have you guys seen a lot of crypto people converting to golf so far, or is it still too early to really get a sense of like how that's going?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell at this point where people are coming from. So here's what I will say. I have like a live dashboard where I can see rounds at any given time. We actually have had a round of golf played on every continent where there's a golf course so far, which is crazy. And so like the word is kind of getting around, but we've done no paid advertising. And we've done no like official marketing campaigns because I want to make sure the app wouldn't break. And we still got to those numbers, which is kind of crazy. And by the way, sales are memberships. Those people have a benefit, just like there's a benefit from, the annual fee with credit cards. But I think for the most part right now, it's like our early adopters, the people who have collected our NFTs that are going out playing, just kind of telling other people to say, hey, look, use it, don't use it, but here's why you should try it. And that is just kind of automatically spreading to other people and getting us into downloads. So I think right now it's still crypto-centric, but every time I'm on a golf course, I talk about GolfN. Every time I go somewhere, I talk about GolfN. I don't talk about crypto. I just talk about the system we've built. And every single time people are like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Like it is such an easy thing to say yes to on its face because like, what GolfN is right now is like this competitor to 18 Birdies or Arcos or whatever, but like that's not anywhere close to our end state. To us, that's more of like table stakes. And we already rolled something out this year. It started at the US Open and continues to happen where if you actually go to professional golf events, doesn't matter if it's DP World Tour, LPGA, PGA, Live, and you have the GolfN app on your phone, you can actually check in and earn because you're there. And there's little challenges where you can go take pictures of the leaderboard and take pictures of the merch tent and like snap for the best photo. So we'll put it on the app and on the website. You get rewarded for that. So yes, it's from the first tee to the 18th green, but it's more about like your love of the game and just kind of making it more fun and engaging. What I typically refer to as like, kind of like Strava or Pokemon Go around the game of golf versus just like a digital caddy app where you only ever use it on the golf course because people don't golf that much. If you do, like who has that kind of time? Like how much have you played this year, Luke?
Yeah, I played. I played. I'm not going to answer that one for my own safety. It is unhealthy how much golf I've played this year, but at the
Good
same
man.
time, I mean, I think the thing that's cool though about this, and this is something that's kind of native to crypto too, is that it sounds like what you're doing helps you to kind of build a community element of it that
It does.
that is missing from a lot of these Web 2 apps, right? Like a lot of these Web 2 apps, unless it's a social media platform or something like, especially in sporting, sporting is so like individually focused, right? Like to where you could actually, hey, I'm checking in with my friends here or whatever, but like you've got this kind of community that's growing and kind of introduce that element of it to
Yeah.
the Web 2 space. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Absolutely true. I think groups, community, achievements, challenges. We do have a social feed inside of the app, which you can choose to post to or not post to. I've seen incredible activity inside of there. It is very much kind of pulling that community around. Now, that's not necessarily unique inside of golf. And I just want to give credit where it's due. Like 18 Birdies has a great social feed and function. They don't have as good a group functionality, but right? Like when it's something that you have to kind of pay to be involved of, that cuts some people off. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you don't need to pay me to get access to groups. Okay. You don't need to pay to have access to features. All right. Like that should be your choice. And well, for as long as I'm in charge, it'll always be that way because
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's not the point. Those are table stakes. And so to make it a more open and free community where you can do those things, to me is kind of the point where maybe we're separating ourselves even further from what currently exists.
That's cool. Yeah. And kind of in that vein too, because I see this even with what we're doing at Brave when we're trying to kind of balance out adoption. Like if you look at things like whether it's Venmo or even like 18 birdies, right? Like there are there are things I really like about it, but then there are also things where how does the world now know what I'm spending my money on by default? Like how are you guys balancing that at GolfN where, certain social feature settings on some of these apps are just letting everybody know where I am all the time. Like, how do you guys kind of balance the
Yeah.
need to to have that social element and convenience part with the privacy side of it?
It's a great question. And that was something early on where it's almost like we wrote down like, oh, social feed, this will be great. And then actually when you get into developing, you're like, well, hold on. This
Mm-hmm.
has to be thought out because of those issues. And something
Mm-hmm.
that we all know very, very well here. If you have any sort of privacy background or crypto background, that's not necessarily something you want. So that we made it like a multi-step, multi-step process for social. I can go into the GolfN app and I can search and find you, anyone, and I
Mm-hmm.
can follow you, meaning I just follow your activity. But nothing I'm given from you is live in that scenario, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if I follow you and you go play, every activity you do has to be done before it's posted on a timeline. Right. So
Nice.
like there is no live updates. It's all now I can also add you as a friend, which opens up a whole new group of features, which are hilarious, by the way. If you and I are friends, you tee off, I get, hey, Luke just teed off at,
Oh yeah,
Pebble Beach. Okay, great. I can
yeah.
literally go I can comment while you're playing it. I can send you messages. I see it live because you and I are friends. So I
Mm-hmm.
can actually control who sees what live versus who sees what's on a delayed basis.
Mm-hmm.
And really something we thought about off the rip because of our background. So yeah, it's a great question, great point. And yes, a huge concern for us.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's almost like in LinkedIn is like notoriously bad like this too, where it just gives you too much info that I don't need to know
Yeah.
about okay, if they're my friend, that's one thing. I think that's an important point you mentioned too. Like there's these rings or layers of like, okay, access you're showing your intent by kind of following somebody or whatever and befriending them online. So it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think, where do you see we talked a little bit about this earlier and you mentioned the golf caddy part, like are there any areas with AI too that you see becoming more integrated into GolfN or things that you're kind of thinking about that you don't have to give away the whole shebang here, but like just kind of curious, like are there any other areas where you guys are thinking about introducing AI in the app in the future?
Yeah. So so many ways it's kind of even hard to talk to, but I'll give you the ones that are like most easily understood, and then you can kind of extrapolate on there for where we're going to go. So every time you play around a golf inside of the GolfN app, we ask you a couple things when you're done. We ask you to review the course you played. We ask you to you know 1 to 5 stars, write a little bit. Again, these are all optional. It's up to you, and upload photos if you want. And again, we'll like pay you for doing it, right? Like you earn for doing it. Completely optional. You don't have to. But when you start playing more and more, well, now I have a better understanding of like, why did you rate this place a 5 and this place a 3? They both cost similar places. They both are in similar areas of the world. But like you are constantly kind of saying, here are the things that we like. Well, our database is every golf course in the world. Okay. We literally have over 40,000 golf courses in the world. And so using AI now to say, these are the types of golf courses that Luke likes to play. If you're traveling and you want recommendations, here are ones that kind of fit the profile of things that you've enjoyed in the past. And that's so much easier to do with AI than it would have been otherwise, right? Here's some reviews of what other people have said. Here's what the rates are like. Here's what the time's like. Here's what people have traditionally said. We can start doing things very easy like that. If you're a destination golfer like I am, I like to travel and go to different places. I was at Ballyneal. I went played in the Wynn in Vegas, right? Like those are, not everyone loves to do that. People like their courses or they like to travel. I like both. Like getting those sorts of like, what are the experiences you're looking for? And this is kind of the bigger point for me when it comes to like privacy and AI, right? I've never once been upset when my information has been used intelligently and only given directly to me to improve my experience versus taking my information and going and shipping it off and selling it somewhere else. That bothers me tremendously. And we'll never, ever do that at GolfN. But if you choose to opt in, we'll help you find a better way to engage with golf and leverage AI to do it, right?
That's smart. Yeah. And that's like that's a good differentiator too. Like, like whether it's like using, how you're using AI or using the data with it, like versus giving it to this unforeseen partners you've never heard of, network or whatever that are going to do whatever with it. Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. What just kind of zooming out a little bit, like any bold predictions with that you have for the future tech that you'd be willing to bet on today?
Well, let me zoom out even slightly more than that.
Please.
Since we were talking about AI. I read and I hear about so much around AI being an existential threat to workforce, right? That 20% of workers are going to be eliminated because of AI's ability to replace them. I am firmly in the opposite side of that camp, firmly, because I've been able to build a company over 2 years with less than 10 people to something that would have taken 100 a few years ago. And that's going to inspire more people to create and do more. And so, maybe it's not going to be 100,000 person companies. Maybe it's just a bunch of smaller, highly dedicated, more specific people that can do more because of the technology that exists. And I think that's kind of where this goes. So there's a lot of like, doomsayers. I know you're on Twitter like I am. Like you can read a lot of like, oh man, population growth down, AI replacing jobs. Like I will firmly go on record to say everyone is interpreting that wrong. We're going to become highly efficient. There's going to be more creators that can build things that you and I are interested in because you don't have to be a coder anymore. You can get very close, then hire someone else to work with you that can help out where you have deficiencies. And now you make more creators. You make more entrepreneurs because your idea can go further. Even if you don't have the technological training, you just need to think critically. Right? Like that's kind of the bigger point. And then find and address that market. So in my regard, AI is going to be a part of everyday life and it's going to be an overall enormous net positive to society. And if you ever wanted to be an entrepreneur, now is the time in tech or otherwise, because it's like you have a free assistant there to help you get the job done and stay organized.
Yeah, I love it, and I love like just what kind of close it off too. I mean, like we've got GolfN in our rewards partner program. Like one of the things we're trying to do with that is to kind of highlight apps that are bringing new tech to users, right? Like and bringing things to people where they are. And I think this conversation has been really great because that's mostly what I've been hearing this whole time is just like so much of this that gets lost in what people think marketing is versus not, and what real marketing is and real market fit is for products. And so I'm excited to see what you guys do. Is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to get the word out about, and where can people find out more about you or meet, you reach out to you online or find out more about GolfN?
Yeah, so easiest thing to do is go to golfn.com, GOLFN.com, literally the word golf, the letter N.com. You can find anything you want on there. A couple things to note. Right now, we're iOS only, but Android's coming in the next fortnight. Okay, so nice. I don't know when this will post, but it should be out very, very soon. You'll be able to get those download links directly from the site itself. Our socials are on there as well. GolfN app on Twitter, Instagram, so on and so forth. Really easy ways to stay in touch there. We are always looking for people to try out our app, to give us feedback. This is kind of one of those nicer things about having this like Web3 background. I always like kind of jokingly say like we're testing in prod to quote Andre, but like, we are so much more open to feedback. And if there's something you don't like or something you want to see, join the Discord. You can talk to me whenever you want. Hey, what about this? I had this issue. Even though I'm the PM of this app, like I want it to be great and I want your help. Your help, Luke, anyone else in the Brave community. Like this isn't going to be no, this is how I built it and it's my baby and you be quiet, hush. Like, no, that's the beauty of having a great community. Like come be a part of this. I want you to feel like GolfN is your app, just like it's mine. And you can help us make it better because that's how we're building. And I feel like that's how we become great and how we'll become one of the largest golf apps in the world.
Love it. Love it. And I'd be pained not to ask, what's your best golf tip before we close out?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. I just played yesterday. It was my birthday over the weekend, so I got to play.
Oh, happy birthday.
And thank you. I appreciate that. I had one swing thought and had one of my best rounds of the year. And every time I think this way, it works out well. You never, ever, ever need to use hit as hard as you can. Okay. Take an extra club, swing easier, make sure you hit the center of the club face. It will almost always work out for me. There was a time when I was a younger man, Luke, where I was like, I just want to try to bang my pitching wedge 160 yards. And can I swing out of my shoes and do that? Yes, absolutely. Do I usually yank it into the water or trees? Yes, absolutely. But that one time feels really good. No reason to do it. Put your vanity away, take extra club, swing easy. That's my tip. You'll play so much better.
Awesome. I can't think of a better note to end it on. Swing easy. And great to have you on, Jared. Love to have you back sometime soon to kind of check back in on things. And thanks again for making the time today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was a ton of fun and looking forward to partnering together now in the future and happy to come back anytime.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for listening to the Brave Technologist podcast. To never miss an episode, make sure you hit follow in your podcast app. If you haven't already made the switch to the Brave browser, you can download it for free today at brave.com and start using Brave Search, which enables you to search the web privately. Brave also shields you from the ads, trackers, and other creepy stuff following you across the web.